Hello everyone, how's it going? Ajax the Mister here with, of course, another review for Samurai Jack, the final review. And what better way to have a send-off for Samurai Jack than having very own special guest, Grandmasterhoop. How you doing, Hoop?
Doing good, Ajax. Doing good. Glad I could be on the show today.
Of course, of course. This guy's been watching Samurai Jack for as long as I have, so I thought it's only fitting that we should all tackle the final season of Samurai Jack Season 5. So, I guess just starting off, just start off in general, what were your thoughts with, Season 5? Without getting, into too much specifics, was it satisfactory, for you?
Yes, I was overall satisfied with Season 5. Definitely long time waiting for, a conclusion to Samurai Jack's story. Mm-hmm. And I could definitely say I walked out of there pretty satisfied, and definitely I was thankful that they finished this great series.
I'm surprised we even got an ending, to be honest. 10, 12 years? How long have we been waiting?
I don't know, since 06, 05, something like that?
I feel like it was before that, too.
So what? Maybe
it started
04.
in 01.
Well, yeah, it started in 01. I feel it ended in 04.
05 probably the latest.
05, yeah. But I mean, before they even announced the new season, I heard talks about a movie.
Oh man, there for years.
Yeah, I heard Sony Pictures wanted to do a movie.
They had on the chopping block movie, reboot, revival, live action, CG. That was for years though. Maybe once every couple years, some news would come back, and I mean, I would never take it seriously. I'll be like, it's not gonna get off the floor. It's been dead for a while.
I mean, yeah, it depends on, because I was reading some sources. I'm like, this cannot be credible at all, and they're like, oh, new season's going. I'm like, definitely not. I'll wait till the trailer.
Or unless Gendy actually comes out and
outright
says,
if he said something in an interview hey, we are working on the next season, it's coming, then yeah, I'll take the word for it. But a lot of these sources, I'm like, y'all, no.
BS.
No.
But, we got one. And to be honest, I guess my thoughts on it, in general, I thought it was satisfactory, too. I'm glad we even got an ending. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Because this series could have easily been one of those where it just ended off and never got a conclusion.
And, as kids, we never really think, oh, man, why did it end? We're just like, oh, guess it ended.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
to the next show.
Right,
you know? It's not until later on when we're older and we're much wiser and we're look back man, they never ended that series. Why did they stop?
Did Aku win? Is he the is he the ultimate? There's a meme. I wish I had a picture of it where it shows all the grim futures of these canceled shows.
Oh,
because
man.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I haven't seen it.
It shows Samurai Jack. It's saying the show didn't have an ending because Aku ends up winning in the end. Or Symbionic Titan.
Oh man, another Jindy that never ended.
He never ended that one either.
Yeah.
And I never really saw Symbionic Titan. I might see it now, knowing that
I watched a little bit in the beginning. I liked where it was heading.
We got sidetracked really bad with Symbionic Titan. But I thought the entirety of season 5, it hit all the notes right. I felt the fact that it came back not gory but more mature.
Yes.
It didn't use an over excessive amount of blood just because it was on Adult Swim. It wasn't Jack slicing people's heads off and blood squirting. It wasn't no Afro Samurai or something.
Animated blood from they worked within their limits. They were on Adult Swim, so you could do a lot more.
Right.
And I feel had they made a movie, I'm sure the movie would have had adult themes such as
I'm sure.
more blood, more graphic kills. Because they in seasons 1 through 4, it was him always killing robots or
always
magical
robots.
creatures.
Occasionally he'll fight a live human being, but he would never
they would never die.
Yeah,
because that was a big thing about season 5 was that was his first time he killed a living thing.
Although to be fair, there is controversy around that because there's a few episodes where he fights a human being and say the human throws bombs at him, he'll deflect the bombs right back at them and they'll blow up and you don't see them again.
Well, let me ask you this. It was one of those kills where he deflects the bombs and walks away and doesn't look?
I think that might have been it. The one scene in particular I'm thinking of is I forget what season it was. It was when Jack is fighting like a bunch of like bounty hunters trying to attack him, and they all look like one's like a cowboy, one's like a robot. I think.
I feel that was in the first season. That sounds like
it first season?
That sounds like the episode where Evil Jack showed up. Like, cause then that whole beginning of the episode was they're all Samurai Jack, and then he literally take him
yo, Jack.
And in his frustration comes Evil Jack. I think that was that episode.
Correct me if I'm wrong. It might have been that episode. It might have not been, but I just remember that stuff. But yeah, like you were saying, you know, Jack killed his first, canon-wise, he killed his first human being in this season. I thought, to me, that really hit home with Jack because you could tell he was distraught about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, he wasn't expecting a human.
Right. He saw the blood squirt out, and he's like.
And then he slowly took off the mask and it revealed one of
Aku's daughters.
Yeah. So. And then his face was just like, oh my goodness, like.
Yeah, I mean, he was bleeding out. Like, he didn't really have time to like process it, but you could tell like he was shocked. He was like, oh my god, I killed someone. I killed a living person.
And I think that was a defining point of the season, like that point right there, because in the first episode he was just killing robots.
Right. He was just in the samurai armor on the motorcycle.
And that episode, when that happened, that pretty much set the tone for the season. Like, yeah,
definitely.
It's gonna hit the fan.
If you split up like season 5 into 2 parts, the first part, for maybe the first 4 or so episodes, is all about Aku's daughters. Yeah. The daughters of Aku trying to attack him. Mm-hmm. The second half is his relationship with Ashi. Yeah. Like growing up. I really like the first half. Like I felt like the daughters of Aku died off way too quick, in my opinion. Like, I really enjoyed those moments. Like, I don't know if you remember the scene where he's in the crypt underground and the daughters are looking for him.
Yeah.
My heart was pounded. I was feeling for him. I was feeling for Jack.
It's just those episodes, the stakes seem so much higher. Like, you know, he's hiding in a crypt, in a tomb, in a grave with a skeleton, and he's waiting. He's not trying to die because he's up against 1 versus 7.
7. That's right.
You know, he doesn't have a sword.
I keep forgetting that. He did not have his sword for the first half of season 5.
So I think it was really interesting to see, because I've been playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and you just picking up weapons and running. That's pretty much what it was. That's what Jack was doing. He took the sword from Scaramouche. Remember that
best
dagger?
Villain. Best villain.
He took that dagger, remember?
Yep.
He took that dagger from him, and he's just on the move constantly. If a weapon runs out, on to the next one. Yep. And against the daughters, he was like out of weapons at one point. Oh yeah, he was using his fist. He was using the taijutsu he learned like back in the past. I think that's one thing people forget. Jack does not need his sword for everything. No, he doesn't.
Like everyone's forgetting like what happened in like the first 3 episodes of season 1, where he's going to like all these different cultures and countries and everything. He's training
all these different skills.
The dude's like a hybrid of like the most ultimate forms of martial arts and like fighting. It's insane. I love it. One thing that I really did like that I feel like not a lot of people mention anymore is the dog. Remember the dog, the white wolf?
The wolf.
Yeah, I felt like that was a lot of symbolism in that. With
this season had like plenty of symbolism, but yeah, the wolf in particular, I thought that was a very nice touch, showing just how he was being hunted by those tigers.
That was brutal.
Oh, that was brutal.
God, he walked out like a bloody rag.
I didn't think he'd make it out of there.
I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead in that episode. I didn't know. I thought we weren't going to see that dog again. I thought he was representing Jack, because it came around the same time when he was barely winning against the assassins. Yeah. And the wolf like just died from that. I thought he died from the attack of the tigers.
And then he shows up in the cave later with him.
There was a whole episode dedicated to that. Can you believe that?
I remember.
That's insane.
I just feel it really showed. It's like how far this wolf was symbolic of how far Jack has come in his journey.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's like to the point where, he can take it, all these beatings and whatnot. Oh, yeah. But he's still got to keep going. Yet, the wolf, it looked like he was ready to just, quit. Like,
But he didn't. He didn't quit.
And at the same time, you know, him and Jack formed a little bond. I thought that wolf was going to come back in later episodes.
Oh, I wish he came back.
I thought they had a Jon Snow ghost type relationship.
Game of Thrones.
He's a white wolf. Never, but it didn't happen.
That would have been pretty
But
interesting.
yeah, that was a great episode because it just kind of, you know, put everything in perspective on like the survival that Jack is going in right now. Because at first I feel it wasn't really a survival mode because he always had a sword.
Right.
And he was always, you know.
He always seemed like collected every time in the previous seasons. Like no matter who came to attack Jack, you knew he could overcome it some way. And I feel like in this season, he was just more vulnerable overall.
We reached the breaking point, I feel, you know. He lost his sword almost every time portal was closed up. Every time he thinks he's found a way to get to the past, Aku always shows up and, you know.
He trolls him.
He's like,
stupid samurai. That's my terrible Aku impression.
It was good. I liked it. But yeah, you know, it's just a breaking point to the point where he's like, I'm fed up. I'm going to let my facial hair grow. I'm not gonna screw my gi, man. I need some armor. I'm getting slashed up every episode.
Pretty much.
This gi doesn't do anything for me.
I feel like that goes in hand with like the darker themes of like suicide. Like for the first 5 or 6 episodes, the dude was contemplating suicide, it was never like outright said. Like Jack would never say to himself like, I just need to kill myself or whatever. It would be like hinted at. It was subtle.
Yeah, like no one knew what the samurai ghost figure was.
I thought that would have more meaning.
I was like thinking at first I had no idea what it was, and I thought
it had a connection with like his sword, or maybe it's his ancestors trying to tell him something.
Yeah, I thought it was like maybe there's a flashback we'll get where he encountered this guy and he lost his sword.
Right, I thought that was gonna tie into that, but what was it? It was just like random.
It was pretty much
like ghost.
I feel he represented the culture. I guess.
Okay,
Japan
that makes
and
sense. Because there were multiple ghosts. At the time
at that time, there was like multiple ghosts, and he was saying, you know,
you dishonored your
you're dishonored.
family
you haven't completed your mission. There's only one thing left for you to do, which is take your life.
Those scenes where he's like literally talking with like his alter ego Jack.
Oh yeah.
And like the dude's like, "There's only one way to get out of here, man. You got to do it. You got to do it." And Jack just keeps saying, no matter what, I've always found a way. I thought that was pretty, like, heartwarming, at least to see throughout the season. Like, he kept saying to himself, no matter how difficult the task came to be, I always found a way.
Yeah, I think it was cool for him to talk to his inner self because, like you said, Jack is always collected. He's cool, calm, collected dude. He's a samurai, right?
Right.
But all his frustration, you know, he hid that in him, right? You know, he doesn't let it get to him.
Because we could actually see it throughout, like, the previous seasons. Like, sometimes Jack would lose his cool. He's
he'll let out a scream, you know? Yeah. But it finally took form of this weird, twisted Jack to where he's like, just like, come on, man. You know this is not how it's supposed to be. No. Take it away right now. And I think it was really cool to see how he, you know, that inner turmoil within
and how he was able to overcome it and everything. That was pretty interesting.
Yeah, this season really took it there with these themes, you know? Like there's a lot of adult themes going on.
Like the love theme with Ashi. I felt like it was realistic in a way.
Very, very.
Like it wasn't, I mean, in some areas it might have been rushed, but I don't know. Like I felt like there was enough satisfactory room for development for Ashi to turn over sides, learn how Aku is evil, learn to appreciate Jack, and then that appreciation turns to admiration, and the admiration turns into love. I don't know. I thought that was pretty interesting how they were able to effectively tell that throughout the last few episodes.
I like it because I, for one, did not see it coming. Because in the scenes,
I did not.
In the scenes where they show the daughters growing up, you know,
there
were those hints that Ashi. Well, I mean, we didn't even know her name was Ashi at that point. Right. There were hints that Ashi was the compassionate one, the one.
Right, she was the one actually caring about her sister, like trying to help them and whatever.
Yeah, and I would say she got the worst beating out of them.
Oh my god, that roided up like freaking.
Yeah.
Those were the full pullback, like, dude.
Like it was brutal. But you know, what do you expect from a cult that worships Aku?
Oh yeah, there wasn't much like sunshine and rainbows.
Their sole purpose
area.
is to kill Jack. I would expect 10 beatings a day. From,
easily. I mean, they threw the kids in charcoal. And the whole time up until the reveal, like Ashi like stripping down whatever. I thought that was like a morph suit.
Yeah, me too.
I think everyone thought that.
Yeah, I had no idea.
That was her bare skin.
Yeah, that was crazy. Gosh, it's really dark. This season really took it there. After Jack shows her same compassion that she once saw or demonstrated, although it was beaten out of her. It's her kind of, realizing like, hey, I was right all along,
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't have this hatred. And I think, the love aspect of the season, it went really well because it's like, of course, I feel it makes sense she fell in love with a guy who showed her all this good.
The only person in her life to show her compassion that she tried to show her sisters, but was like slapped across the face or more like decked in the face for showing. So I felt like that kind of played in really nicely.
Yeah, I thought it worked really well because I mean, for her to fall in love or just be his pupil, I feel
right. Yeah, like a protege. Like I honestly thought Jack was gonna die in this season, and I thought Ashi was gonna be the one to carry on like his will in like the future or
I thought
in
about
the
that
past
too.
or whatever.
I thought about that too. I thought that could happen. I did. I'm glad it didn't.
Right, I'm glad Jack's alive.
Yes.
I want him to be alive. The dude deserves it.
Yeah, I just like their whole arc. Their whole arc was very nice. She was first very she was very confrontational when he's like, "Why do you hate me?"
Like I was hoping when I was seeing scenes like that where it was not gonna come out to be like, Jack has her restrained and he just tells her like a couple sentences and she's like, "Oh really? Aku's the evil one? Oh." Okay, like no, like she was really resistant against it. Like the scene, like I always remember this scene is when Jack has her strapped to his back,
and they're in that big belly,
the whale and they're fighting like all the monsters inside of it, and Ashi's trying to screw with Jack from the back. She's like, and Jack is like screaming like, "God, stop!" I thought that was hilarious. Like, he's getting slapped by all these monsters, getting slapped by Ashi in the back, and the dude's losing his mind throughout the entire thing. I thought that was hilarious.
That was a really good episode, and I like how that episode ended because, she almost picked up the thing.
She could have killed him. Yeah, she could have easily killed him.
She could have, and then that ladybug.
The ladybug. Oh, man. We're going to talk about the ladybug later on because there's a few fan theories out there that I'm just going to lay to bed, right? But the time will come. The time will come when we get to that. But I think that covers like all the bases. Like we talked about, Jack going through his suicidal moments. In the beginning, Jack not having his sword. Mm-hmm. I felt like how he got his sword was kind of realistic too. Like the gods like bestowed upon him the sword again.
Yeah. I like that they came back because
yes, they have relevance again.
Yes, and it was I felt it was a good connection between the older seasons and specifically that one episode how the sword was made.
Right, like how the sword was made, how Aku was made, and all that.
Yeah. So I felt it made sense that they came back and again that episode really took it there too. Remember he met the dude.
Making the tea and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, in my live reaction, I did not appreciate that scene as much as I should have because it was very symbolic with what Jack had to overcome to get his sword back. Because the dude was conflicted for 50 years.
Yeah.
And he had to just regain his compassion, regain his composure to get the sword granted back to him. And that whole tea ceremony was symbolic of that. There would be straight up 30 seconds of Jack just scooping up and pouring in the water and then just I loved it. I loved it. It was eye candy.
It was a good scene. Good. I enjoyed it.
The return of familiar characters.
That's what
I really like that. They could have easily have not done that because I thought that was going to happen. I thought all the old characters, since it's been 50 years, they're all gone, dead, whatever. Jack's going to meet a new slew of characters for season 5. But that wasn't the case. We got to see familiar characters that we actually care about.
Yeah, I think if you made a slew of new characters for a 10-episode season, a lot of it would get lost. It's like, why should I care about these characters?
Right.
Why not include the characters that, we've grown up with?
That we want to see again, help Jack fight Aku in the end.
It's 50 years into the future. These characters, it makes sense that they're alive. And I'm glad... I'm glad they took it to where, Jack didn't age. and while all these characters were aging. I thought that was a really cool aspect. Because it was like, it adds to the frustration.
Right, yeah.
Because not only do these people have to live 50 years through Aku's tyranny, but they will maybe just die of old age and never get to see.
Right, exactly. And then it's like
a world without Aku.
Right, they died in like a realm of tyranny.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure nobody wants to die like that.
No.
Old age in a evil wizard tyrant ran world. No.
No one.
So I'm glad they brought those characters back, and I'm glad they were aging because it just made sense.
Right.
And it was great throwback and great Easter eggs and eye candy and whatnot, and it just totally made sense.
It made sense. Like, I'm sure everyone's favorite from like a returning face was the Scotsman.
Oh,
the Scotsman coming back. Out of all the characters Jack would ally himself with from previous seasons, Scotsman hands down was my favorite.
I'm sure everybody probably thinks the Scotsman is the best one.
Which I did not know this until like honestly a couple days ago. The voice actor of the Scotsman is the same one that does Bender.
Yeah, John DiMaggio.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like, I was wondering, like, dude, this guy is so good. Who is he?
That's watching Marcus Phoenix.
Yeah, Dom at the sandbags.
Yeah, man, he's a great voice actor. He nails that Scottish accent, man.
That is just
his insults are probably like
easily the best.
The best lines of the show.
If the rest of the episode is crap, his insult in just one scene make up for all of that, in my opinion. Like, I loved it.
The fact that he went down throwing insults at Aku.
In his wheelchair.
There was no better way for him to, go.
Yes, I thought that was pretty spot on.
I was like, oh my God, they killed him.
No, I was disappointed because, like, I thought he was dead. No ghost. There was no ghost yet. And I was like, is that it? We're not going to get, like, a reunion
between him and Jack? And I was like, wait a minute.
No, man.
But I'm glad he came back as a ghost.
I'm glad he came back and he offered one of his daughters to Jack.
Oh, that
and
was funny.
Like, you can take any one of me lasses.
This is Barbara.
He's going
names every single one of them.
I'm glad his personality stayed intact when Jack's like, oh, no, I'm fine. And she's like, you're too good.
That was good.
God, the Scotsman was like hands down the best. Like there's no other words for it. If you've seen the Scotsman from previous seasons, you guys know what we're talking about. His insults, his character, just everything about him. I just love it. I just love him.
And it makes sense for just the progression of Ashi's development. That she met these former people that met Jack and Jack did great things for her.
She was going around to like different places across the land.
Woolies.
The Woolies were the furry ones?
Yeah, the elephant-looking ones.
Oh, the ones with long nose.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember them. She met the Archers.
Yep, the Archers was a great one too. Because they were like directly affected by Aku because he poisoned
the portal. Time portal. Yeah.
Yep. So that was good too. And she met the Ravers.
The rave party. I remember that.
That was that was funny.
One person that was never addressed that she met was that weird black silhouette figure. When she's trying to look for Jack, when like Jack like wanders off, there's like some silhouette figure in the rain, and she's like, the samurai went in this direction. I thought that was gonna be a character or something. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
Low key,
it was literally for like maybe 5-10 seconds.
And
like,
they didn't come.
And she did not come back. She did not come back at all. Like I'll have like a little silhouette of the character right here, but like basically she appeared like out of nowhere for no reason. She found Ashi. She knew she was looking for the samurai, and she was quoted in black.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you didn't know any of her features, and she's like, samurai went that way, and we don't see that character again. Yeah. I don't know if it was a returning character or
not sure who that could have been.
I have no idea.
I probably have to go rewatch a lot of episodes to kind of maybe deduce who that could be. But yeah, just the inclusions of the past characters was a good
right.
For a final season, it's like a must.
It was deserving. Yeah,
very deserving.
And I think that covers all the pros. I mean, we've been splurging on Jack right now, just giving him like nonstop praise and whatnot. But as with any series, there comes the cons.
Of course.
Whether they be plot holes, what we would have wanted differently, or what we would have changed. To be honest, there wasn't that much. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Like, there were a few, like, you know, every now and then that I kind of had gripes with, but there was not that many, and I think that was a good thing that this season did. But, you know, just starting off, because I know it's the one that people, it stuck in their minds the most, was the ending.
Oh boy.
The ending. Like, I enjoyed the ending personally. You guys see my reaction. You seen, like, what my quick thoughts were on it. But, I mean, do you want to start us off with, like, what you did not like about the ending?
The very ending? Like,
the general, like the final battle with Aku till the ending.
Okay, sure. As far as the ending goes, you know, I feel everybody's biggest gripe was, you know, kind of just like how rushed it felt, because
it definitely felt rushed.
It's only 20 minutes long.
I thought they were gonna do an hour special or 40 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, that would have been a lot better, because I feel, you know, there's a lot of things I feel like they've missed. So I'm satisfied with the ending, but I feel there's things that could have been added, like
that would have enhanced it, like just made it better. Like,
you have Jack go back in time, you know, kills Aku. Ashi unfortunately loses her life.
Sad moment.
You know, we had a whole 4 seasons of characters in a world where, you know, all you see is them living in a future ran by Aku.
Right.
We have no idea how their future is now without Aku. We don't know where they are, what they would have done. You know, all these aliens came to Earth. Would they still be on Earth? I think if they added a scene showing a future that was different than the one that we've been watching for like the last 12 years, that would have been a really nice touch. I mean, how nice would it have been to see like the Scotsman without, you know, a machine gun for a leg, and he's just living a life with 20 plus daughters.
Yeah, like still same scenario. Like the Scotsman's living his life, but you know he's not like maimed all over his body or whatever.
Exactly. So I think it would have been nice to see where those other characters would have been had Aku never been a part of their future.
Right.
Just a little scene, you know. Just
it could have been a couple seconds. Like if there was
they didn't have any dialogue. No dialogue.
Right. If there was like a time constraint, like reason why they could not show it, like literally, like the series is known for doing stuff like this, showing like a scene and just showing that alone with no dialogue, yet it conveys a message.
Yes.
Like they've done that throughout the entire series with multiple battles, multiple scenes. They could have easily done that with this one. Just quick scene, bam. Future with no Aku. Same characters are alive and well, living peacefully. Still got statue worshiping Jack because he's the one that defeated Aku. And that would have been fine. Like 10 seconds. 10 seconds. That's all it would have taken. But
we're not giving that.
But we're not giving that. One thing that I thought they also could have done was what they did in Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball timeline theory, which you guys, I guess explained in my live reaction, but for those of you that didn't see it, so Jack is fighting Aku in the future, and he defeats Aku in the future. So now the future is ridden of Aku. Like, there's no more evil. Then he goes back into the past, fights the past Aku, and now he creates a separate timeline where there's never an Aku to begin with. So you have 2 timelines.
Okay.
You have one where Aku reigned for a while, and Jack defeats him, and all the future characters can live on peacefully, remembering Jack and all that, and saying like, you know, the samurai saved us, now we can live on in peace.
All right, so 2 alternate timelines versus 1 linear.
Right, exactly. Like what they did with Dragon Ball, with like Trunks, the androids.
So Trunks, and how his future was still there. That's how he was able to come back.
But he created, by going to the past, a separate timeline.
Gotcha.
So now Jack creates an alternate timeline where Aku like was defeated in the first episode. I thought that would have been, like, to be honest, I thought that's what they were going with. I thought that's what they were going to do in the end of the series. I feel like all the relationships, everything that he developed with the future allies was all thrown away in that instant.
Because I know we were talking earlier, big thing about a lot of time portal episodes is that maybe there's a character or somebody whose life is being threatened, right? And he turns his back on the time portal.
He'll be right there. Like, he could jump in and end all the tyranny of Aku. But
it'll be like a wishing well. And
it could be just, a bunch of stuff.
He'll always forsake for, you know, someone else, the greater good, you know?
Right.
He'll turn his back on it, go help those people. He'll give the wish to somebody else.
Right.
And the way the finale played out was, he didn't really have a say. It's like
right. Ashi just came out. Was like, yo, I got Aku's powers. Let's go.
You didn't have to say the matter. Like as soon as the thing was over him, it was done. Like
I guess to be fair in that aspect, it's like he was like forced in a way.
Yeah. I wish the writers kind of would have played with the thought, you know, like
he's like, Washi, what are you doing? I need to save these people or something.
Like maybe it just, you know, seeing his thoughts on leaving the future finally.
Something, yeah, exactly.
You know, leaving it behind, changing everything. Like, you know, it's not until the very end did he realize how much did he change because he lost Ashi.
Right, yeah.
Like that's the point where he realized, you know, everything that he's done is null and void.
Changed, yeah. Like. I mean, again, there could be a future where like the same characters can like come back, but it's not gonna be the same characters though.
Yeah.
Like they won't remember Jack because of course he changed the timeline and just he erased everything. Yeah. He erased everything, like the Scotsman, the archers. Like I mean, they'll probably still exist maybe, but their relationship with him is like gone.
Exactly.
I think that's the part that like I'm most conflicted with. That I wish they would have addressed a little bit better.
Yeah, and you know, just a scene. It could have just been a scene.
Could have just been something really quick, and maybe that's what the writers were intending. Maybe they didn't want to show something.
Maybe
like
they got cut on the runtime. Maybe that's why they weren't. You know,
they were
constricted.
I guess one other con that I guess is more of a personal one because he was my favorite. Like I guess antagonist in a way, the Guardian. Remember the Blue Guardian? Yeah. He was voiced by who? The guy who does Gantu? From Lilo and Stitch, I think.
Kevin Michael Richardson.
I think.
Was that him?
I could be wrong.
I think that's correct.
The villain himself, like I thought he was amazing, but the entire episode from the previous season, I thought it was amazing because that was the closest Jack ever came to going to the past.
Yep.
But you know, before season 5, and the portal's right there. The guy's just standing in his way. He's like, "Hey man, I can't let you through." And there was a huge fight with guns and like rocket launchers, and then of course the Guardian beats the shit out of him. Like he wails on him, and then it ends with the portal showing Jack in the future with the beard and like I think he was wearing like Roman clothes though. That's the only difference.
I can't remember. I haven't seen the episode in a while.
Yeah, but like I love that episode. I love the villain, or I guess not villain. He was more like a guardian, basically.
The antagonist to that situation.
Yeah. And they showed his glasses in one episode, and that was it. It was like Aku killed him, and destroyed the portal. I wanted more. I wanted more from that. He was my favorite character.
Yeah, in the 50-year gap, they kind of swept over any loose ends, and I guess you're left to assume that just Aku came in. Jack's not running around anymore. Let me wipe out everybody. Or were you satisfied with the final climactic battle between Jack and Aku, as in? When he got to the past, all he did was straight away.
To be fair, hesitation. Okay, I could tell at first glance it might have been too quick of a battle, but I felt like it was realistic and just. Because think about all the fights that he's had with Aku.
Yeah.
He's had multiple fights where Aku changes forms. Yeah, there's one where he becomes like a human.
Yeah.
Like and fights him.
They wrestled that one episode. Yeah.
And there's just been so many fights with Aku, and again, this is a Jack that is tired of Aku's BS. Like he's done. He does not want any more. So as soon as he gets back to the past, Aku's like, "Wait, you're alive?"
He's like, "You're back already?"
And Jack wastes no time.
Yeah.
He just goes in. Aku changes maybe into 1 or 2 forms in that fight, but the end was there. Like Jack wasn't fooling around. He went in for the finishing blow.
Couldn't prolong it anymore. I guess. Yeah.
And he knew that again. This was the same guy that sent him into the future. When he let his guard down. So I felt like it was realistic in that sense, if that makes any sense at all. Like I felt like it was satisfactory with how Jack reacted and how quickly he killed him, because he's like, dude, I'm ending this now. I'm not playing games with this guy. But I guess short end. I was satisfied with the battle with Aku.
Even though all his allies came, Aku laid, no. He wiped them out, man. Like you saw a bunch of them just dead. Like it made sense. Like he went over everybody and started raining down on them, and they were dead. And so while Jack knew he needed Ashi, to
right.
help. So he was over here, they're handling Aku. He's over here trying to get Ashi out of this black Aku goo. Now, one thing I did think was weird about the battle, like, I'm not sure how many times they mentioned Celtic magic.
They mentioned it a few times. It was mostly with the ghost and his sword.
Yeah.
The Scotsman.
Celtic magic was pretty powerful in that episode.
Oh,
like, it's like the only thing that was doing anything to Aku.
Right, yeah. Like, I was surprised it had that much influence.
Yes.
Like, it's almost as if it's the main, like, force to attack Aku.
Yeah, so I was, like, questioning, like, has this been mentioned thoroughly before? Like,
it's been dabbed at a little bit. Like, in previous episodes, he mentioned, like, "Oi, samurai, my sword's imbued with Celtic magic, better than that butter knife you have in your kilt," or something like that. Like, it was touched on a little bit.
Okay.
With a few of his weapons, but like not to the extent where like it's like the main attack
That thing
force.
was saving everybody.
Exactly.
Jack was over here doing his thing. The Celtic magic saved everybody. So I was just a little baffled. I was like, man, have they really expanded upon this at all in the past, seasons? And so I was a little confused, but it was satisfying to watch nonetheless because the Scotsman again is a great character to watch.
Of
so
course.
I was happy.
The opening theme. Those of you who've been sticking with me since episode 1, you guys know that I like almost like exploded in my pants when at the very end of the first episode when they do the wachow and they show the red eyes. Like, that was nostalgic overload to the max. But of course in that review I said the one thing I wanted them to do was do the intro where Aku's saying like long ago in a distant land and all that jazz, and I was saying like if they didn't do it now, they're saving it for something because that seems iconic for Samurai Jack. Play at the beginning of every single episode, every season. And they did it at the very end. I thought it was amazing how they incorporated it because if Aku wanted to tell a story about how Jack like came to be and what his struggle was with him and he wants to like relay it to the world, that's how he would tell it. Like verbatim, word for word, he would say it exactly like that. And the guy just got like a massive ego and just wanted to like toy around with a guy he's been hunting for 50 years. I really like the way they incorporated that intro in the episode.
I like the fact that they used, the archive vocals of Mako.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was him.
I couldn't tell. I might go back now and listen to it.
It was Mako, and at the end when he's like, but I captured Samurai Jack. And
then it switched.
Then it went back to Greg Baldwin. And so I thought it was really nice to hear that voice again for the intro part. Because the intro is very iconic for those who love the show. And just any fans in general. It's an iconic intro. Yeah. So it was really nice touch because, I feel it brought everything kind of round.
Right, yeah, like a complete circle.
Yeah, complete circle.
It's like the intro was almost made for that scene. I thought that was perfect. You
had everybody that he's ever encountered watching.
Oh,
and
yeah.
At first they're watching that intro, and you're like, oh, man, are they going to help? Because they're over here like, oh, man. It's over.
It's over. It's all ogre now. Like he captured the samurai. The dude's like in like a dominatrix like freaking dungeon, and he's gonna get like killed.
Yeah, like you saw the hope go from their eyes. You saw the despair that Jack, the savior, is now captured. His sword's captured, and bam, like all hope is lost. So you're thinking for a second they're not gonna do anything.
Right.
And that was a very impactful scene because you didn't know what they were gonna do. Thank God they came.
Yeah, they grew a pair and like actually like, yo, we need to attack this guy. We need to get him like right now.
It was good.
I thought that was satisfactory. I honestly thought we weren't gonna get like a final battle like that. I thought it was just gonna be like Ashi and Jack just storming Aku because Aku doesn't have anyone protecting him.
No,
it's just him by himself.
Yeah.
So I thought they were just gonna walk up to the front door and be like.
It makes sense though that they all came
right.
Aku's powers and his abilities. It makes sense it would take a whole army to come and do something.
It makes sense. I mean, it was not too effective because only the sword can harm him. But
sad to say, but hey, they tried and
they did try.
Technically, it doesn't even matter because the whole future's rewritten. So.
Exactly. Oh man.
So even though they lost their lives, it's like Jack, go back in time.
All of it was thrown away. Talking about like the very, very ending, I guess.
Oh boy.
There is one thing I want to address. I feel like people are just like putting stuff in where like it doesn't make sense. Where Jack is like all sad, mopey from, of course, Ashi being like erased. And he's like sitting next to a tree and he sees a ladybug land on his finger. There are some fan theories out there that are saying that the ladybug is Ashi, like reincarnated. BS! That is not Ashi, guys. Like, at most, it is definitely symbolism of what Ashi was. Because, again, Ashi was obsessed with the ladybug as a child whenever she tried to look at it and wonder where it was going, and then the fucking priestess would like beat the crap out of her. And then she saw it a few more times where like she would go and see Jack, and Jack also had a ladybug like in the scene where like they escaped the water. There was ladybug there, and it was just symbolism, guys. It was just symbolism. Like there was nothing more beyond that. It's not Ashi. It's not like God.
If it was Ashi, then what?
Like what? Like Jack literally like lets it flies away.
And what? He keeps a ladybug as a pet? What? Like it makes no sense for her to.
It doesn't.
Like
it really
doesn't. How? Like she's just non-existent.
I think it was just symbolism for. Jack realized the future he created now.
Yes.
Like, he realized, like, I lost the love of my life, but the future is going to be bright.
Yeah.
Look at it.
If anything, the whole season, Ashi's, her development as a character gave Jack hope again.
Yes. If you take Ashi away from this season, Jack would not have survived.
No, probably
without a doubt. He would have.
She gave him hope again, and so in that time of despair where he lost her, the ladybug represents you still have a lot to be hopeful for. You defeated Aku,
you ridded him, like you got rid of him, the future's bright.
You prevented 100 years of Aku.
Did he send him 100 years in the future? I don't think it was ever specified how long he sent him in. It was just a random thought.
It's not 100.
I'm not really sure. To be fair,
it's just the future.
Yeah, future. 1,000, 100, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Either way, he prevented plus time, however much he traveled, plus 50. He prevented all that. So the ladybug, I guess, it's just hope to look ahead. It's a brighter future. You'll probably find love again. You'll probably find someone, or you maybe not find anybody, but you have a lot to live for now. Versus, dedicating your life to killing an evil wizard.
And I guess the last two things I wanted to talk about, which some people had cons about that I didn't really find that big of a deal, like looking back on it, was of course the whole Jack not aging for 50 years. That was never like actually explained. Like they dropped hints of it throughout the season, but it was never like outright said like this is the reason why Jack did not age. And the other thing was that some fans were disappointed that they never learned what Jack's real name was.
Oh.
Which, to be honest, I don't want to know Jack's real name.
Yeah, I think that takes
really
away.
Don't.
Yeah.
It really takes away the whole, because if you knew his name, like let's say if it's Toyotaro or something, just a random Japanese name I'm just thinking of, is that gonna add anything? I don't know. Like it doesn't add anything to his character for me.
I feel, Jack, his name, whatever his name is not who he is anymore.
Right.
The whole series, Jack defined samurai.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Like again, he got named by like a bunch of street punks.
Yeah.
In the first episode. That's all I needed.
Yeah.
Jack, give him a name and it's iconic. Like if they revealed his real name in this episode, and people are like recalling old episodes saying like, oh, you remember this? Are you gonna call him Jack or are you gonna call him Toyotaro or whatever his real name might be?
Whatever his real name is, his real name didn't go through anything other than like the initial 8 years of his life, and then Aku coming and him having to go train.
Yeah.
The whole series and his 50 plus years is defined by what he did as Jack.
Exactly. Right.
I'm sure he knows his own name.
Yeah, I'm sure
when they ask him, what's your name, man? They call me Jack. So who knows if he has a real name? He would have said it.
He might not even have a real name.
Yeah, he might not have. Why would you say your name is Jack? Like if you have a real name,
just say your real name.
He obviously, I don't think he had a name with that evidence right there,
Yeah.
he could clearly speak the native tongue. And they ask him, he's like, what is your name? And he says, they call me Jack.
That's all they needed. Like,
Yeah.
if there was a real name drop, I wouldn't have cared.
No, yeah.
It wouldn't have added anything.
Yeah, it wouldn't add anything. I feel it would take away, because it's like,
do I call him Jack now, or do I call him by his real name?
It's like, even you learn his real name, it's like, your real name, you didn't do anything with that name.
Right, yeah.
You did so much more with Jack.
With the Jack persona.
Yeah, so.
That's, yeah.
Not necessary.
Not necessary at all. And then I guess quickly, again, I dabbled in like the time thing. Some people are saying that the reason why Jack couldn't age was because of the him getting sent to the future. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not his timeline. Okay. So he's not like meant to be there, so he's not aging. That was kind of dropped when remember when we first see Aku and he's talking to like his therapist version.
Yeah.
And they're discussing like, why isn't the samurai aging? And they're theorizing like it might be the time portal that he was sent through. Because I do remember when he got sent to the portal initially, he was getting like warped.
Yeah.
In the portal, like he was like
face
all
was stretching. Yeah.
Right. So maybe that was it, but I to me personally, I would prefer a definitive like this is the reason why. This is the reason why he's not aging.
Yeah, it would be nice. It would be
right.
nice just to have some background knowledge on why, like, just to add to the lore.
Yeah. Again, it's not important. It doesn't really matter. But just subjective-wise, I would have preferred, a straight-on, like, this is why he doesn't age. This is why it's 50 years.
You can ask Gendy if you ever see him.
I hope I can. Oh, man. The man must... If I was Gendy right now, I would be really satisfied. Because I brought back a series. I brought back a series that was dead in the water for 10 years, 10 plus years, and I brought it back, guns blazing, mature theme on Adult Swim, in the midst of all these terrible ass like reboots, like Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls, Ben 10. If you guys like that stuff, I'm not, kudos to you, not knocking you, but to be honest, you put that in comparison to what Jack accomplished with its revival and its continuation, it gives me hope for future series, like what we were talking about before, Symbionic Titan, Young Justice coming back with season 3.
Thank you.
And maybe, I don't know if it's going to happen, but with Teen Titans Go being so successful, maybe a season 6 to Teen Titans, maybe.
I don't know.
It's very not likely, but again, I thought Samurai Jack wasn't coming back. I thought that wasn't a thing, but
True.
It came back, and overall, great way to send off the series. Could have changed a few different things, but overall, I would give it an A in my book.
Oh, for sure.
Easily.
For sure.
For whatever problems I had with it personally, I felt like it just did so much in the realm of like positive. Like, first episode, we get introduced to a new villain. I was kind of like not into it because I thought like, a new villain, I'm not gonna get into it. But as soon as you start hearing him talk, Scaramouche, I fell in love. I'm like, this season's gonna be amazing. This is gonna be a ride.
Yes, I agree.
Any final thoughts on like the series as a whole, or anything?
Definitely
last thoughts.
Hands down, definitely one of the best animated series ever made.
Oh, okay, yes. Sure. In general, Samurai Jack
definitely defined a generation, and it's just nice that generation. They got an ending.
They got something. We got something.
Like, we started this in 2nd grade.
Just about second grade, around there.
A post-college grad and an in-college student. It's just nice to, it's satisfying. It's rewarding.
It certainly is.
So, overall, I'm great that the series was ever made. I'm great we have an ending. Yeah, A in my book for sure. Like,
definitely.
Doubt. Up there among the greats. Like,
easily. Like, if season 5 did anything, it just made the series even better. End it on a dark note with like darker themes and just overall satisfactory 10 episodes. I wish it would have been longer, like maybe 12 to 13, but again, great season, great series in general. And I think that about covers it.
Yeah.
That pretty much covers everything. Let me know what you all think in the comments below. Did we touch on everything? What were your gripes? What were your positive notes on the series or even the season as a whole? Just share your thoughts down below, because again, I'm just really glad this season came back guns blazing, and it ended off just fine the way it did. Could have changed a few things, but you know, it's good. It is nitpicking at that point. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts down below, and that's all that I have. Click the face bubble right here to subscribe to the channel. Dumbbell to stay up to date whenever I upload a video, and social media links in the description box down below. I'm Ajax the Mister, and he's Grandmaster Hoop.
Hey, Grandmaster Hoop. Follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Grandmaster Hoop. You'll find me. Funny stuff to see from there.
Link in the description down below. Thanks for watching.